51. Dear Kiddo, take my hand into darkness. There's a certain brand of rich that isn't actually rich, but so badly wants to be that it will lie, cheat, and delude itself into believing it belongs. My mother, God bless her, was one of those people. The kind of person who would sneer at someone's outfit as trashy while teetering on the edge of a moral and financial abyss in last season's Chanel knockoff. She had the nerve to act like some Highland Park socialite, despite the inconvenient truth of her upbringing in Farmer's Branch, a town whose name alone screams, "We definitely do not own horses, but we sure wish we did." After a particularly mortifying evening at Duel, a place that likely prided itself on its exclusivity, but where my mother somehow managed to bring shame upon the entire concept of class, I sought refuge with my best friend Michaeline. Now, Michaeline was no delicate flower, no innocent bystander to the chaos that was my family, but even she had to pause and take a deep breath after witnessing Mom in action. "Jesus Christ, dude," she said, swirling her drink. "Does she even hear herself? Or is she just permanently possessed by the ghost of a desperate housewife?" I cackled because, well, that was an apt description. My mother's judgment of other people was Olympic-level projection. She had the absolute audacity to look down on others while practically drowning in the quicksand of her own delusions. And she got it honestly, from Papa and Nona, her own parental circus act. Papa was the king of dad jokes. The kind of man who'd see a banana on the counter and say, "This place is going bananas," and expect riotous applause. My mother and Aunt Titty, yes, that's what we called her, and yes, she insisted on it, thought he was the greatest comedic genius of all time. Never mind that every single one of his jokes came from either a Far Side calendar or one of those daily joke emails forwarded exclusively by men who still wear Bluetooth earpieces. Uncle Hank, the faggot's son, his words, not mine, was the only one with an actual sense of humor. He could have been a comedian, but instead, he simply thrived as the one family member who could accurately see this circus for what it was. He also happened to be the only one I could tolerate for extended periods of time, mostly because he didn't take any of it seriously. Then there was Nona, a woman so rigid she made the Queen of England look like a spring breaker. There are people who exude warmth, people whose eyes twinkle with mischief and mirth. And then there was Nona, whose reptilian gaze could freeze a pot of boiling water. I always suspected that Nona's entire personality was just sexual repression given human form. She married Papa in high school, and he later became a walking PSA for colon cancer-induced erectile dysfunction, which probably meant she hadn't gotten laid since Nixon was in office. Did she resent it? Did she secretly wish she had been a free-spirited, hot-blooded young woman, sowing her oats far and wide instead of clutching her pearls and teaching her children that the key to happiness was an empty bed and an even emptier heart? My theory? She was so deeply, profoundly, cosmically unfulfilled that she overcorrected by raising 3 children who absolutely made up for her lack of debauchery. Mom, Aunt Titty, and Uncle Hank seemed to have approached life with the singular mission of fucking as many people as possible, as if it was some inherited responsibility. And honestly, good for them. If I had been raised by Nona, I too would have hit the streets like a contestant on a reality show called America's Next Top Harlot. And so, I sat with Michaeline, sipping on something strong, watching the aftermath of Mom's latest descent into social calamity unfold. We weren't just laughing at her ridiculousness, we were marveling at it. My family was a never-ending gift of chaos, dysfunction, and pretension, wrapped neatly in a silk bow that was probably fake, but purchased with the confidence of a woman who would never admit it. "You're going to write a book about all this one day, right?" Michaeline asked, smirking. "Oh, absolutely," I said. "And it's going to be hilarious."